Coming up on Ultimate Collectors, follow the Yellow Brick Road to a collection straight out of Oz. Plus one guy who caught a wave and ended up with a spectacular surfboard collection. Then, he's a pinball wizard who has one of the most amazing collections you have ever seen under one roof. That's all up next. Welcome to Ultimate Collectors. I'm Kevin Flynn. You are going to meet people who devote their lives to gathering great stuff, and we'll give you some tips on how to start your own collections. First up, an amazing collection that has taken a lifetime to accumulate. The Wizard of Oz has long been a subject of interest for collectors all over the world. But when it comes to extraordinary Oz collections, there is really no place like this home. Who can ever forget the remarkable characters from The Wizard of Oz? Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion? Not these collectors. For them, it's a fascination that started once upon a time long ago.
I remember the annual telecast for The Wizard of Oz. It was a big thing, as much as Christmas or, you know, as a kid, even my birthday, I looked forward to that just as much as anything else.
I remember growing up in the 60s and really being excited seeing the television commercials for the movie, and I remember the great spiral of the Yellow Brick Road and Judy Garland skipping down the road.
And after 30 years of researching and collecting Wizard of Oz memorabilia, the Yellow Brick Road has led financial analyst Jay Scarfone and autism consultant William Stillman to become nationally recognized authorities on all things Oz. Today, their collection holds thousands of items. It's one of the largest and most complete collections of Wizard of Oz memorabilia in the world. Some of Jay's favorite pieces are in his collection of original and test costumes from the MGM film. This is the test costume that was actually worn by Judy Garland. And this Emerald City costume reflects remarkable attention to detail and innovation.
Wizard of Oz was one of the very early Technicolor films, so there was a lot of experimentation that went on with the coloring. If you see this in the film, what appears here as sort of a brownish color actually shows up as a lighter green than this. So you have green on green rather than this brown on green.
The Wizard of Oz goes back far beyond the 1939 movie. The original book was published in 1900. It later spawned a Broadway musical and a silent film, and Jay and William's collection contains items from all of these earlier Oz productions.
When the movie came out in America in 1939, it was sort of already competing with its history, so to speak.
So a lot of the merchandise that came out had somewhat of a generic look and was not specific to the movie characters. It was sort of an amalgam of the characters from the movie and the traditional book characters.
This animated department store display, one of William's favorites, recreates the famous melting scene and features a very different looking Dorothy and Wicked Witch.
That's because they are inspired by the original book illustrations. The Wicked Witch is wearing a patch over one eye, and Dorothy is dressed in her Emerald City costume, which, while she was in the Emerald City, was green, and once they leave the Emerald City and remove their green-tinted glasses, is white.
After 10 years of pursuing those two amazing figures from one owner to the next, William finally got his chance to own them when another collector liquidated his memorabilia. But somewhere along the way, they had been damaged in a fire and were in need of restoration.
I went about a very tedious restoration process, worked very closely with a gentleman who was skilled in electronics and animatronics, and we got them working again, and they're just wonderful.
It was well worth the effort. The appraised value of these two characters is now $25,000. But it's not the money that drives these two collectors.
It's just the wrong attitude.
Yeah, I think you do it for what you like, for your own sake, and I think those are your most successful collectors.
It's safe to say that Jay and William have had their sights set somewhere over the rainbow ever since childhood, and they see no foreseeable end to their collection.
It's a long process. It's something that happens over a number of years. New collectors, can't go in to it expecting that they're going to do it all in a week and just, go into a shop and buy what they want and have an instant collection.
Makes it that much sweeter when you least expect it, the item that you've been looking for years unexpectedly turns up. Advice that I would give to anyone that's interested in collecting The Wizard of Oz is quite simply collect what you love.
Because of the continuing popularity of the movie, there is a lot of new Oz material out there. But if you want to collect, here are some special things to look for. A great find would be a glass peanut butter jar made by Swift. They were manufactured from the early 50s until the mid-70s. You may be able to find a Dorothy jar worth $5 to $15. The Wicked Witch is the rarest one. It can fetch $100 to $300. Original movie posters are also valuable. Ones marked Litho USA can be worth $10,000 or more in mint condition. Look for posters at collectors' shows, auctions, or through dealers. Beware of reproductions. They're only worth about $5.